The pillows are fluff thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Bert's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, hey, hey. Come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Sofa Squad. Hello, Dr. Barry. How are you doing? Welcome to the sofa.
I'm so glad to be here. This one, I needed to talk to somebody about it.
I mean, for real, y'all. And mods, thank you for being here and keeping the sofa cushions fluffed. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out. So, y'all, earlier today, I was rewatching Devyn Michaels' murder trial. I've been watching the headlines while I was out of town, and I was like, we need to look into this. And literally, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, we need some group therapy up in here. And Dr. Barry came in the chat. I think I like psychically translated to her, like, we're broken. We don't know where to go from here. We need therapy. So, Dr. Barry, do you want to talk real quick about like a quick overview for people who might, number one, might not be familiar with it, but also the confusing connections? Because even listening to it today, I had some people in chat. I was like, tell me again, what does this make her related to this person? Your Leslie says therapy in a flow chart.
So we really need it. So Devyn Michaels is the defendant, and she is on trial for unaliving her children's father. So, but to start this case, we have to go further back than this. The victim in this case, his name is Jonathan, and his oldest son, so he had a son with another woman. And when he was an adult, so Jonathan has a son named Devyn. And when Devyn was 19, and Devyn wasn't clear because Devyn was asked, how did the relationship start? And I don't know if he just didn't want to say, because he was specifically asked who made the first move, like what happened, because Devyn ends up in a relationship with Devyn. So Devyn, once again, the defendant, she also goes by Nikki, and she also goes by Tracy. So she's also I think she was an actress, and she was an adult film star. And so that's that part. So she technically had a relationship with her stepson. Those two end up getting married. And so Devyn, who's the son of the victim, because remember, victim is Jonathan. Devyn, his sisters are technically his stepdaughters, and his stepmom is also his wife. His father is like his so like it's a very, very complicated case. It's out of Las Vegas. So this is a case out of Las Vegas, and not West Virginia. Like this is just very, and I hate to be bad, like no shade to West Virginia. This is now, so he was 19. I always want the adults to do better. So, because a lot of I hear that people talking about, like he's, uh, yeah, he's the step. It's a very very odd. It's a very husband son step. It's a very very strange situation. And then Devin, the one who's charged with the crime, Devin is claiming that Devier, her husband, the victim's son, that it was him. Her team is saying he's the one that did this. Now, we all could have been saved the complexities of this trial because she initially agreed to a plea deal, to plead guilty to, I think, manslaughter. Like, it was because she was only going to get 15 years. So she initially pled guilty to that, but during her sentencing, so she had already had a sentence. She already pled guilty, and I don't know if she provided any details. Like, we are going to see what comes, because sometimes when you plead guilty, sometimes you have to say, yes, I am guilty of this crime. I'm pleading guilty because I did it. We do not know what happened because I don't think that one was streamed. I don't know, for some reason, Long Crime, somebody got the film of what happened the day of sentencing, because that was the first time I was introduced to this case. She also just so happens to be the former wife of Robert Baker. If you followed the Monica Simpanelli, I'm not good with names. Simpanelli, but that was another case because Robert Baker was found guilty of unaliving Monica's husband. She was in on it. They kind of planned it because she's in jail too. But Robert Baker is Devon's former husband, and like the whole thing is just way too complicated. It's way, way, way too complicated.
You did an excellent job sitting there walking through that though, because let me tell you what, it's so confusing, and like by the time you get back to the full circle, you're like, okay, wait, let's go back over it again. Like, I've never seen a case, and I might be lying, but that's this convoluted. And I think part of it is because you have all the overlappings of familial relationships that shouldn't really be there. You know what I mean? Like with the whole stepson and now husband and this kid, and then the whole whammy of throwing in, oh yeah, by the way, she used to be with so and so who's in prison for killing this person. And it's like, how did that even come out of left field? I'm still processing the stepson thing over here. That's before we even get to what she did to Jonathan, which was a completely grisly Taylor business level crime. And I want to talk about this little part right here real quick, and then you take over whenever you want to interject, Dr. Barry. I'm also going to have a couple of questions about the layers of the relationships for you.
Mhm.
So this is where we got today. So I'm rewatching it, so I haven't got as far as everybody else has in watching the case. So I saw snippets of the meltdown that she had at sentencing, where she's like, "I didn't do this. I don't know what to tell you, but sorry." So that's how we arrived here, right? So
Yes.
then today we watch opening statements. Now, admittedly, a few of us zoned out by the time the defense did their opening because it was so heavy. The Just what we heard from the state, and we were like, okay, wait, what? We're having our morning coffee here. Like, we did not expect to get hit upside the head with this. So then she's basically trying to blame her stepson slash husband, and they're saying he had the motive because it was like, the dad didn't know about this affair. It was like another man coming into the house because the dad was allegedly moving into their marital home, we'll call it, for the sake of simplicity, with the two kids that he had with Devin so that they could co-parent, be under the same roof. Well,
So
and go ahead, go ahead.
I wonder, because there is a text message between the dad and Devier where I think dad says something to the effect of like, this is messed up. Like, so I think so definitely before dad's death, dad was aware of the relationship. And then that's where I don't know if dad was like, I don't want my girls around this. Like, I don't know what happened because he just one day just decided I'm moving in. Do you know? Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. Yeah. The dad, like, that wasn't like a long-standing plan. That wasn't something that had been planned for a while. And Devin, AKA Nikki, AKA Tracy, she was not supposed to be around her daughters unsupervised.
Which is
That
odd. And not
Well,
that that's odd, but, like, the fact that he's moving in, like, all the like,
well,
something is going
because
on.
because he had full custody and she wanted access to her girls. So she did not want, because she's done 2 police interviews, and that came up during the police interviews that she wanted they were gonna be a family, like, with she wanted her girls or something. Like, the whole thing is just so complicated.
Now, let me ask you this, because one thing you bring up a good point about that text message where you were like, "It sounds like he might have known something, yada, yada, yada." Okay, so we were talking about this a little bit before we got started with the son, stepson/husband on the stand where there are some inconsistencies and a little bit of whatever. Where could you speak to where you think shame
Mm.
might be as a concept be present in this case? Because when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is a very embarrassing thing to be put out there. This is like really putting some dirty laundry out there. And I'm questioning how much shame is narrating what's being said, what's not being said, how it's being said, and if that's playing a factor into this.
To me, Devier looked embarrassed to be on the stand. He seemed to, like, just have this, like, posture of just kind of being like, you could tell he didn't wanna be there this is the death of his dad. I think he also used to have a drinking problem,
Okay.
uh, because after he finds out about his dad's death, he doesn't remember those next few days because he was drinking heavily
Okay.
the next few days after that. And when the police interview him, they ask him about his relationship with Devin, and they both lie. Because the defense is trying to be like, well, Devier lied and denied. He said the relationship was only, sexually intimate for the last year or for however, but like he didn't go back to 19. And but like once they had his phone, because in the opening statements, the defense is showing pictures. Like they're intimate text messages. The defense is showing all of these things. The defense asked him because Devier says he doesn't remember the day they got married, and the defense tried to make it seem because they're trying to attack his credibility because they're trying to, in my opinion, they're trying to have some reasonable doubt for the jury to not be able to convict her on because she's charged with first degree. So she's charged with first degree, facing life without the possibility of parole. And so I think the defense, I think she wanted to fight. I think she wanted to fight it. She didn't want to just sign away and get 15 years. I think she wanted this trial. I think she wanted to fight it and to air all of this dirty laundry. Somebody asked in the chat, was the victim Japanese? And so his mother definitely speaks Japanese. And we don't know who because I think his mother's boyfriend, because somebody testified, and I think it was his mother's like boyfriend testified. And they both used an interpreter. And so I believe the victim, he was at least half Japanese. I do not know. And so sometimes for some cultures, people are trained that like to not air out dirty laundry, that like what happens here stays here. And because how embarrassing is it that like you're to admit that you're in a relationship with your dad's ex-girlfriend and y'all are married and the relationship started when she was dating your dad. Like
That's a
and
lot.
so the defense is going to try to say um he didn't tell the truth because he was lying, but you asked specifically about shame, and that's where I also wondered if he didn't say some things on the stand because of that shame. But the prosecutor's been laughing. Have you heard the prosecutor, like when the prosecutor talks about some of this stuff, it might be nervous laughter, but there are times where he's like, okay, so now this is like your mom, I'm sorry, like,
Yeah.
so the prosecutor has like there's been some, I think, nervous laughter that's kind of popped out a few times, but, I think it was the prosecutor that asked him about directly, were you embarrassed? Oh, and the prosecutor mentioned the fact that he has a new girlfriend, that he traveled. But I think that was for Devyn to be a little jealous, to be a little upset of like, oh, so you came down here with your new girlfriend. That came up during his, I think, redirect. I think it came up that he traveled to the area with his new girlfriend. The whole thing, because as they're talking about the relationship, what I'm hearing in the relationship with Devier and Devyn, he tried to leave her a few times. And because he moved to California, and she said that she was pregnant, and that, like, if he didn't come back, I think the threat was if he didn't come back, she was gonna have the baby, I think. Like, I think
Correct.
that was the, and we don't know if that's true, but to me, that shows her not letting go of him. Like, he tried to end the relationship multiple times, and once she was charged and with his father's, because there's one jail phone call. Could you hear that? I could not for the I've listened to that jail call 3 4 times. I need a transcript of that.
And I wanted to hear it bad too, because I was so excited. I was like, "This is gonna be good." And it was like somebody said it was like the Charlie Brown,
Wah, wah.
the wah 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 thing. Yeah, couldn't understand a word, but people in the chat were saying that the news report or whatever was that in the courtroom you could hear it
Okay.
loud and clear. So it was
Okay.
just a matter of translating over to us via this way.
Okay.
So, you know, but yeah, that call was good. I mean, and I
Well,
wanted to go
so
ahead, go ahead.
the part that I heard was her being like, "They don't have anything on me. All they did was they showed me a thing of bleach." Like, it sounded like, I don't know. And then after that conversation, it's my understanding he hasn't had any communication with her after that, because the defense is trying to say he did this so that he could be with her, and there's no evidence of that. And there's cell phone data and, like, videos from gas stations, and there's all of this electronic data that says it was Devyn and Jonathan, the defendant and the victim, that they were together that night, and that Devier is at home. And so,
Mhm. It took me a minute. I literally had to, like, pause it and have people Northwest is so good today, Leslie's so good, breaking it down for me, being like, "Wait a minute. Where did the unaliving take place?" I was like,
exactly.
who, where, and what?" Because I was like, where's Yoko coming from?" So and I was I mean, I had to just get walked through it again. And that to me, once it was broken down to me of like, "Oh, wait, so the stepson husband is at her house with kids. She's at Jonathan's house, who lives with his parents. They're spending the day together. 1 a.m., she's telling the mom, don't wake him up. She's back home at 2. 8 a.m., he's found just, unalived in a very brutal way.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what is she hoping to like? Where is the room for this? Now, when the stepson husband took the stand today, and he was asked, I tried to get away from her. I didn't want to do this. Blah, 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 on and on and on. He's and like you're saying, he seemed embarrassed like anybody would. Also, real quick, sorry I'm jumping around.
You're
I even think that in the pictures today that they showed his, you know, his manhood
yes.
pictures to the jury, and I was like, "Are they showing those?" I was like, "There I would
I
crawl
wonder if it was
under the
blurred.
desk."
I hope it wasn't. Oh, because
Even
that
if it was blurred, I'm just like, You would have to drag me out of there with the jaws of life, I'd be so embarrassed." I mean, it was like there's no stone left unturned in this for as far as just humiliating
yeah,
stuff goes.
yeah.
And it was like and now here's my thing too, you can get in the whole conversation if it like, they're not even admitting to going back to age 19 in the beginning. I mean, how do we really think this started at age 19? You know
I
what I'm saying?
I hope so.
Yep.
Because somebody asked in my chat, was he did something start earlier? And there's no indication that it did. Because I think that's when their messages, because I think he's a kid with a phone. And if there was he probably would have messaged, like, they probably would have had some communication. if there had been something that went back further. I don't, or is that just when the evidence started? I don't know. I hope it, and not that that would make it, because also at 19, that's still, so if I was married to somebody and I had a stepchild, like, there's some boundaries you just don't cross, and
Yeah.
that's just weird. You're gonna have an affair with your partner's adult child, like, that's just no. Like, there's some things you just don't do. But you'll, yeah, I think it was that producer that married his adoptive daughter.
Woody Allen.
Yeah.
That
And
was
so, like, all of those, like, he raised her as, like, a little, and he married his ado and so they, to me, there are certain boundaries, I'm just like, "Don't cross it," and then other people, ugh, they do the things. Now, I think she was probably, 'cause, I mean, there are messages about, like, okay, so I apologize, but, like, he probably enjoyed being with her physically, but the emotional and the drama, I don't think he wanted that.
I see what you're saying, yeah. They've read a lot of their text messages, which was another layer of humiliation because he definitely was like she rocked his world, we'll just say. Like, if he was being truthful in the text messages, he had never gotten a hold of something like this, okay? And he was putting it all out there, and when he's reading it, when they're or not he, but when they read it, I'm thinking, "Oh, he is divulging so much to her," and she's probably thinking, "I have this kid wrapped around my finger. I can get anything." Whatever her motive was for it,
Yeah.
whether it's just she has tons of issues and she's just a sloppy, messy person sleeping with everyone and crossing boundaries, or she was like, "What? I don't know." But I was like, "This is so bad." And again, this is being read in open court. I mean, I'm just like, this is absolutely crazy. Now, I want to say this real quick before I forget
Mhm.
it. Jennifer mentioned this up ahead or like up
Yes.
in the comments a minute ago. She said it doesn't make sense for him to be killed at the mother's house because the saw would make a lot of noise. And I'm like, you know what? Because this is my understanding that she's tried to kill him I'm sorry, to do the head with a knife and then switch to a saw of some sort. Are we talking a saw? Are we talking a electric saw? Do we know what weapon exactly? Because that would be my question
And
too.
how did Taylor Schabusiness just use a knife, or, like,
I
'cause
think so.
remember there have been people have done, so it's, so there's a butcher knife that's missing from the house. So that's what they believe the weapon was. It's also sad that they haven't located the head, which is sad. But,
A
um,
bread knife. A bread knife in the Northwest says small sorry to
probably
interrupt you.
butcher, but
A
yeah, bread.
small reciprocating knife. So that might have made not as much noise. It's like, I believe an electric saw was mentioned in the trial. Okay, an electric saw is possibly mentioned.
So,
Okay.
but I think they were saying electric because I know that's what the defense was saying, because Jonathan installed, like, Jonathan, no, not John, Devier has tools. So I think they were trying to implicate him, but none of his, like, but when they search everything, like, nothing comes up tied to him.
Okay.
And so they have video, I believe, of Jonathan alive up until, like, because they have him, like, his truck getting to the house. There might be some people that think, like, well, what happened? Or I don't know what they're gonna say. But it's just, this case is a lot. And the prosecution is the one presenting their case. And when the prosecution is starts, you're normally thinking, "Oh wow, there's a lot that supports this." I'm wondering what the defense is going to present. And what they may say is that Devier didn't cooperate with them, because they mentioned that when he was on the stand, that they wanted Devier to meet with their investigator, and he said no, because he didn't have to. Like, he doesn't have to. And so they might try to make that look shady. I'm not, I don't know what they're going to, or ooh, and if she takes the stand, I might have to, I'm not gonna cancel a client, but I will think about it, but I'm not going to. If she if she takes the stand,
That's gonna top off this whole case. Because
I don't
let's talk. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I don't
And
think
then
she manages her emotions well. Like, I think she'll fall apart on cross 'cause I don't know that it'll go well. Maybe it will. I could be wrong.
a couple of things here. So, if several people are asking, what will 2 questions.
Mhm.
What was the motivation? Number 2, what is there any kind of psychology behind someone who goes as far as to start a beheading? Look at the Taylor Swift business. Look at this right here of this incredibly gruesome way of trying to like, was she gonna dispose of him and then it got too hard and she gave up? Because I'm like, let's go on the assumption that she's found guilty. She did it in the house, all this type stuff. Well, what did she think was gonna happen if she went to the parents' house, decapitated him, leaves him in the bedroom? Of course they're gonna find him. Like, how like, it doesn't it's almost so absurd, it doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying?
And I don't know because so the state is trying to prove first degree. So I think she admitted to giving him a massage and hitting him on like being at the house, giving him a massage and hitting him on the back of the head with something. He She also allegedly ran into his mother in the hallway and said, "Oh, he's just sleeping." That's what
Mhm.
came out during opening. Um, some of so they used an interpreter for the mother, and I think some things got lost in translation. So I didn't. It was hard for me to follow all of it because I felt like the translator or the like wasn't saying everything she was saying. Like I felt like I was getting an abbreviated version, and he could have been, but like I got frustrated watch because I um I was wondering if some things weren't getting said exactly the way she was saying it, but it is what it is.
Also, isn't it like the whole similarity to the Sarah Boone 15 years, she
Oh,
turns it down, then we come over here and it's like she was at the I mean, she's going to the police, she's going to get the sentence, and then has this explosion, and now she's facing first degree, life, all the big charges.
imagine I think her daughters are like teenagers. I think they're older. Imagine if you didn't know that this was going on and now all of this. I hope that they have good support. I hope they have therapy. I hope they stay off the interwebs and all those things. I'm glad people are blurring out their images because somebody asked about potential motive, and the state thinks that Devyn wanted Jonathan out of the picture and just wanted to be with Deviere
And keep the
because
kids.
Jonathan was moving in to the house they were all at, and which meant so 'cause so Deviere was gonna leave probably, and I think she didn't want Deviere to leave because every time Deviere tries to go to California so I think she really wanted Deviere. I don't think she wanted Jonathan, and I think she played nice, like, "Oh, yeah, we'll get back together," and then
So, pardon me, on that note, so that brings up a whole new layer of this where I'm
mm,
like, because if we listen to what he was saying on the stand, which again, this is years later, obviously, what we're hearing now versus then whatever. But if we're just going face value, what he's saying is true, this is that, where he was trying to get away from her. He didn't want this. He's young. He probably got hooked up with her. Like you said, all the drama wasn't worth it, this, that, and the other, but she's finding a way to keep him in there and keep him looped in. Then the dad's gonna move in. Now, remember, like today, what we watched, he was like, I didn't even know my dad was moving in the house. So if she's planning this up with the dad, or the dad's like, I'm moving in, this is what we're doing, who like we'll never know. And she's keeping that secret from Deviere. Like that was gonna be a big whammy. But didn't he start moving stuff in sooner? Like, I'm trying to think of how much she was like keeping going between everybody, multiple stories if this is what really went down, to keep some people in the dark, some people in the light, and manipulate everyone.
and it sounded like Deviere, if Devin wanted to be with his dad, it seemed like he was gonna step back. Does that make sense? Like, it didn't seem like he was gonna fight for her. Does that do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, "Oh, y'all are gonna get back together, for my sister," because it's his sisters. So, like, because so Devin was not supposed to have unsupervised contact with the girls. But Jonathan let the girls go stay with them for a part of the summer.
Mhm.
And so if anybody found out, he could have got in trouble with the court if anybody realized that she was having unsupervised contact, because there was alleged child harm on her end, and she was supposed to have supervised contact only. That's what was supposed to happen. And
Mhm.
so I don't know if she thought if he was out the picture, she would automatically get custody of the girls. Like, I don't, none of this makes any sense. Or if she thought if I just say it was an accident, I hit him, I don't know how his head went missing, but like, yeah, I hit him, that she would get, like, they would just let her go home. Like, oh, that's sad. And like, they wouldn't look into it any further. None of it makes any sense.
And that's the thing where it's like, yeah, trying to make sense of the senseless, I guess, because there is literally no telling what the train of thought was of, we're gonna go boom, boom, boom. And you would sit here and think too, like, say the son and dad had a conversation where they're conversing. He knows they're married. They know what happened. Almost like a blood's thicker than water. And at a certain point, if someone was going to have to go, it was going to be her. Like, what have we done? This woman's come in. She's done this. She's done that. Our lives are in shambles. I'm going to divorce her and try and get away. It was like she would be the odd one out at some point. But I mean, I don't know.
She's letting her team blame him. And so
Yeah.
that's the strategy that they went with. Anybody that's watching the trial, Devyn's defense attorney also defended Robert Tellis. He normally does high-profile cases. Kathy from Gossip Rumor and Innuendo talks about him hitting the cameras. He's a very good attorney, and she's probably very pleased with her legal team. And I think her last attorney wouldn't do this. I don't think her last attorney wanted to do this strategy. He probably said, like, be realistic. Like, they have you on video. They have your cell phone data. Like, yeah, I could, but like, I think it's in your best interest to take the plea deal. I think that's
Mhm.
what her last attorney, because what she said at sentencing when they flipped everything was that nobody was listening to her, and that she felt pressured into accepting the plea deal. She didn't like her lawyer. And so all of this stuff kind of came out during sentencing. And that's when the state said, Your Honor, I don't think we can accept. Like, we're ready for trial. And I think that was like 3 months ago. So they went to trial, I think, in like 3 months, which is like,
I mean, they had it all right there.
yeah, they're
You
ready.
know, her only thing that the angle she'll go with, again, like, and again, it's not even finished with the trial yet or anything. So if we're just going down the rabbit hole of like, she did it, that the evidence is going to just unequivocally show, yada, 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 then you almost have to be like, well, how does she think she's going to pin it on this dude? I almost wondered if she was like, you know what? I kind of want to retire and just be in prison. I'm tired of this rough life. I'm just going to sit here and do my thing. And or she just thinks like she thinks she can truly get out of it, and sit here and just, now let me ask you this real quick. So you said you've watched the police interviews with her, or have you just seen them? Have they showed that in court?
That I've listened to them, so they've played them in court. I've listened to parts of it. Yes.
What was the general vibe of those? Because I haven't gotten to that yet. Like, when you were listening to it, is it like she's so guilty, or is it like this doesn't make sense? Like, where are we at?
It's a this doesn't make sense. And because I think at one point the officers are like, we understand that, like, we don't think it's you. And so the state had to stop and say, sometimes use a tactic where you tell the defendant you don't think it's them so that they keep talking. And the officer was like, yes, that's what we were doing. Because she talked a lot in the interviews. She admitted to hitting him on on the back of the head, and but then didn't admit to anything else. We do know that Robert Baker, he was in jail, so we know it wasn't him. So he didn't do anything, and there's no video of anybody else coming to the house and coming inside because Devier's car, the son husband, his car is at the house. And like there's no evidence that he left or anything. Like it looks like it was Devyn in her car. And then the fact that she took because she's the one that had the wallet and I think his phone and it reminded me of Sarah Boone, like, not giving George his ID back. Like, it's like, why would you take all of those things? I also wondered, I wish they had done a toxicology on her immediately, because I was wondering, did you have something in your system? Like, were you sober?
He had GHB in his system.
And so did she do a little so, like and GHB, remind me? Okay.
GHB is like a well, go ahead if you're
So
looking
I
it
think
up.
that's like a calming thing. Is that like, it's just not so okay, and so that can also be fatal too. But I
No,
don't
I think he had GHB and a little bit of weed.
okay.
Like a little bit of each or whatever, like nothing like hardcore.
Okay. Okay, so like ecstasy maybe or something. Okay. Sorry.
Northwest says GHB was low level, not drug use level. Okay.
Okay. Okay, low level. Okay. Because I was wondering if because it seemed like she didn't remember, like, or she didn't want to say. So the state thinks she either just doesn't want to say what happened. And I think they think that the that what's missing is in a landfill somewhere. And there wasn't a camera pointed at the trash can. Like I think they're thinking that it's that ended up in the trash. But you just would have thought there would be more like more that the scene would have been more gruesome if
Yeah.
everything had happened there, but there's no evidence that either one of them left. And it seemed like he was alive when he got to the house. And so it's complicated.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm gonna be curious to learn more about is like the timing of like and they might have already done it, but I just haven't gotten to it. But all of that dynamic right there, that's kind of a loose end I need tied up. Now
And
the son, so you know how the son like installed all those cameras at the one house or whatever. So to me, that I think the son did it. One of them did it. One of the houses had tons of cameras on it. So that's like insurance for well, we know everything would have been on video over here. And if we're not showing them leaving or whatever, and I think was it at her house that all the cameras were? So we would have known if the son husband had left.
I think so.
So yeah, like, but again, also swinging back around to Shabiznes, Taylor Shabiznes, look at what she did to her victim in the basement, like over an all night morning period with the parents upstairs doing crazy stuff. So it's like,
So I think the he was deceased when that part happened. Does that make sense? He wasn't
mhm,
alive. Does that make sense?
mhm.
So I think the medical examiner said that it was postmortem. Um, and so this is a sad case, and there and I think that's where the state is hoping the jury sees that the ground is wet and that they kind of fill in some of the blanks. And I think the defense is hoping that there's some doubt when the jury doesn't know some things that I think the defense is hoping some doubt comes in. But um
Where it might get tricky too is, so if they're not able to truly say, and I guess I'm asking you this, are they able to 100% say this is how he died, or they can't because they don't have the head?
somebody in the chat. So I didn't see all of the Emmys testimony and I saw Kathy's update. So
Okay.
I haven't seen all of the Emmys testimony. But she admitted to hitting him. So they're thinking she delivered the fatal blow. That's what the state is believing, that when
Okay.
she says she was massaging him and then she hit him on the back of the that she hit him, I think with like something from the fireplace or I don't know, she hit him with something, and they're thinking that was the fatal blow.
Okay, Northwest is saying they don't know how he died. So that would make sense if she struck him and she's slightly admitting to that. If I hit him with a wooden spoon or whatever, she's probably downplaying it. And then for whatever reason, she was like, well, let me decapitate him. And then they can't tell. I know Jezebel says the fire pokey thing. I was like, don't tell me it was the fire poker, not another one of those cases. Hold on one second. Um, So then so in a situation like this, obviously this ended in tragedy and murder and all these terrible things or whatever. In this scenario, just the dynamics of when boundaries like this are crossed. So it's like when you start just looking at that aspect of like we were talking earlier. So she's with the dad, they have two girls. She's clearly viewing the stepson in a way that should not be present, and the boundary is crossed with this. I mean, where does one go? Like, if it didn't end in this, it's like, how does a family even recover from something like this? Or is it like, y'all got to go your separate ways?
She doesn't sound like she was a stable person before this. She wasn't making great decisions before this. And there are allegations that Jonathan might have had a drinking problem. And I don't know. Like and he's not here. So even if he did, like you don't, yeah, like you don't do crimes. That's what I say a lot. And with Devyn, I think she has some pretty ingrained personality features. So if I could have anybody that I was treating, I would prefer it to be Deviere or one of her girls. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because they were young. Because to me, Deviere lacked confidence. I think he didn't. Because sometimes, so once a lot of people don't realize, like, it's not normal for your stepmother to like have like that's not sure. If you meet some older woman at a bar, okay, she's not your teacher, she's not your coach. Do you know what I mean? But like when
Yeah.
it's situations like this, it can because there's a power dynamic, and that's where I wonder if Deviere sorry, I get their names, Devyn, if Devyn liked the power difference between her and the son, and if that's why he was probably easier to control than the dad.
Mhm.
He was probably like and because it's just it's too much. It's
It's a
too
lot. It's a lot. And yeah, so day 5 is coming up
yes.
tomorrow. I think day 5, and it starts
Mhm.
like 2 o'clock. Um, now, hold on, Kathy said Devin was the grim. Hold on, step. Okay, wait, hold on. Snarky says that Kathy said Devin was a groomed stepdaughter in a previous high-profile murder case. Okay, yeah, is that the Robert Baker thing that they're
So
talking
that's
about?
and I've heard conflicting things. I've heard people say, yes, she was the 15-year-old stepdaughter. I've also heard that, no, she wasn't, so I don't know. I've heard that the
Okay,
15-year-old so I don't know.
and I
If
haven't
she
watched that part
was
myself either.
if for some reason she did have a history of her boundaries being crossed or violated, that's where I say people need to heal. And it's important to stop generational patterns, and you have to make different decisions. And so it doesn't excuse behavior, but sometimes it can help me understand. So if somebody comes from a family where yeah, people have, you know, like boundaries like this are crossed. And if people don't realize that that's not normal and that's not okay, uh, they are at risk of repeating those patterns. But I believe in treatment and about people making healthier, better decisions. And I don't like the power dynamic between stepmom and son. Especially he's 19. Like he doesn't know about the world. Like he's not. And then using manipulation, claiming to be pregnant, doing all these things. Um yeah. It's it's tough.
And another really sad thing we touched on earlier too is if you look at, once the cookie crumbles, so to speak, and it's like, okay, here we are. Whatever ends up happening with the trial, whether she's convicted, not whatever. Now the pieces of this family tragedy are just shattered everywhere for everyone. So you have uh, the stepson husband and his, he's off with a new girlfriend trying to start a new, like, whatever. He's looking back at the things that, okay, this is what I've done. This is what happened. Father's been in a very gruesome way, you know, horrible death. Parents, mother finding him in the house. Two daughters who are high school age. Can you imagine being in high school with this on the going out in the world right now? You know what I mean? Like, all of that, and then to unlayer that, because like when I look at some of these cases that we do when younger people are involved, and I look at my own life of the different realizations you have as you get older, when you reflect back in life and how you can re-examine the same situation over and over through the years, and I'm like, I can't like imagine this being one of your situations that
Yeah.
you're going to unpack as you get older and older, like when they're old enough to be their mom's age, and to look back like, wait, so when mom was this age, she was doing this with him, huh? Like like this is gonna haunt them their whole life, not just the murder, but just all the crazy stuff that went on.
Yeah.
And then who knows how it will form their own opinions of relationships, people, things, decisions they make. It's just like, and then also before we even get to that, imagine what a day in the life was like. Obviously she had parental rights taken away. Just think of the dynamic going on of the lying and manipulation that had to take place for them to keep the relationship secret from Jonathan when it was still everyone was under the same roof, or like whatever was going on in that time. Like that right there to me is exhausting even to think about before you get into like the ickiness of like, oh God, the stepson or whatever.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I do still think the thing I hope the girls know is that it wasn't their fault, and that, like, they can accept responsibility for their actions, you know? Choices have consequences, and, um, 'cause and I'm glad that I think they're gonna stay out of the trial completely. Like, I think the girls are gonna stay. I don't think they're gonna be brought into the trial at all, which is good, I think. Um, my heart breaks for them. It really does, because they lost their dad, and they've also their mom. They might see their brother a little. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like like that. I mean,
At some point, they might wanna, like, want answers. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, these are all the questions that I have, because like, one simplistic way, especially this time of year, is I was like, "What would
mhm,
Thanksgiving dinner be like?" Or this, that, which I don't think that's a normal, like, they're probably not having situations like that, but just as time goes on, I mean, think about when you get out and you start, you first start dating people, and you're, talking about families, and just the awkwardness of, "Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm not only have a relationship with so and so," because 'cause you're not gonna put that out there. "Oh, mom's in prison. She beheaded my dad after she was, sleeping with my, stepbrother, my brother." What? Um, you know what it reminds me of too? Okay, remember, I don't know the names of it, but remember the case where that teacher hooked up with that dude and he got her pregnant, and then she went to jail, but they stayed together for a long time. Like once he hit like the age that it's legal, and they stayed together, but then they finally got separated or whatever. Oh, there's sirens going on,
yeah.
and for a while he was like trying to be on board, like, no, I want to be in this, I want to do this, but I'm happy, whatever. And it's like, but you were a kid, like you weren't able, like, no.
And so and I think he's come out and talked, like, when I was younger, I thought that was love, because I think he might have been, like, 12 or 13. Like, he was young, like,
Young.
I think he was, like, 12 or 13. I think he was middle school. Um, and they did end up getting legally married. They are now divorced, I wanna say, and he realized, like, "Oh, like, that wasn't love, that wasn't normal, I was taken advantage of," and he was able to see it later, and
It
but
makes me
see,
wonder if this guy is gonna have that same
and I
realization.
and I think he's had that now, and that's why it was hard for him to talk about how it started. So him thinking, "I can't even remember how it started or that he didn't want to say. So male essay is often harder because let's say he was asleep and we don't know what happened, but let's say she was the one that like went up to him first. That could almost make him like, because so I believe consent should be enthusiastic and like, and we should be on the same power level. Like if there's a power difference, that can create problems. But at 19, that's where I've worked with some clients, especially males, that have later realized, oh, wait a minute, when my mom's friend, like that wasn't okay. And that's been hard. And that's been a secret that sometimes nobody knows. Like they didn't tell anybody about that. And so that's why on my channel I like to share just so that we can demystify some of those things. I'm glad because in the past people used to brag. So if it was a 15-year-old that was with their teacher, they would almost be like, yeah, haha, like bragging about it. And I'm over here like, that's Trump. Like, no, like that's they took advantage of you. And so this case opens up a lot, and I'm glad that we're able to kind of talk about it and demystify some of this in a way that I hope that like if any of the family did see it, because my heart really does break for them, and I think the state has a lot of evidence against her, and I think she just didn't wanna go to so you say she might wanna go to jail? I don't think she wants to go to jail. I think she wants to be found not guilty. She's one of those Sarah Boone, "Success is me going home. That's the only thing I want." Because 15 years for what she's accused of, because I think it was Dominique that was like, "Wait a minute, they offered her 15 years for" and the person was found without their like, "What? 15 years?" But I think they knew this case was complicated. There's a lot to it, and, like, when it goes to the jury, we'll see what happens.
It'll it'll be curious to see, like, and again, once all the evidence, once we hear everything's out there, like whatever, there's still more to come, how long the jury is out because there's so many layers and dots to connect, and really a huge part is just going to be like, show me the evidence, and they might have already done this. Um, I wanna see the evidence at the house. Like, what is the at this time, the phone did this and and then all the little things. And again, they might have done this, but I just haven't watched all of it yet.
Mhm.
Um, because that would be a huge thing for me because it's like this, it's like if she was at the house during these times and nobody else is showing it coming or going from that home and she went in and she left, then who else is it? Are we trying to say the mom killed him? And if we can prove that the son/husband didn't leave the other house and go there, well, then that's done too. I almost feel like she would have been better off trying to tie in a conspiracy thing, like we did it together, but that would still implicate her.
Yeah, she was still going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's wild to me, and it's just as wild as it was for Sarah Boone when I was like, bless her heart, I think she thought she was going home on this one.
Because they didn't try a mental health defense. They didn't try, like, she was being harmed and, like, in this, like, self-defense, they didn't try any it's she went with, "It wasn't me." That's what That's what she went with. But, like, all the evidence is pointing to her. I can't wait for you to watch. So, the digital evidence is hard because it drags on, but it's good. Does that make sense? So, like,
Mhm.
watch it on 2 speed, at least 1.5, and you might skip through because there are parts that get a little bit and then they show the videos of her car getting there, and the jury is gonna have the videos. So please know if the jury takes a while to deliberate, they are going to need so we're having to debrief this. The jury can't talk about it right now. So when I got back in that jury room, I'd have to be like, "Y'all, who,
I
who,
need at least half a day to
who,
just trauma bond with everybody and be like,
who,
"What
what
just happened?"
did what did we just whoo?"
I
Because
thought this was traffic court. We're up in here with this.
and
No.
And I know for some cases, they kind of have an idea like, hey, the details of this are going to be gruesome, like just a heads up. And I think they were aware that it involves like can you be non-biased to an adult film star? And in Vegas, things are legal that aren't legal anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so Vegas, I think, has a different view on like for people because these are going to be Las Vegas residents, and I don't mean that in like a derogatory, like in a down way, but just um some of the things that might be shocking to some parts of the world
Yeah.
because I've seen people watch this case and they're like, "This is so Vegas." I'm just like, because I'm over here clenching my pearls, like, what? Who? Like who? And what? And because
What was the name of that movie she was in? Yeah, it's like, but yeah, I mean, I mean, have y'all been to Vegas lately? It's anything goes, and
and
anything's legal. So there's a different norm for
yeah,
there, and yeah, that's definitely like you're gonna want your peers to be. Imagine this case going down in Virginia, North Carolina, something like that. People would have been passing out. They would have been like,
and
I'm
I don't
talking.
know, and I don't know if the defense, because you're talking, the defense showed pictures of her. Like
I
I don't know
know.
if she asked, like my snatched body, I don't know if she wanted some of those pictures. I was like, we like because she doesn't look great. Like she's doing her. I think they might be downplaying her looks right now. Because during one court hearing, she had on this red. It was bad. Like it was way too red, in my opinion. But she had on this like really ruby red lipstick, and she doesn't seem to be wearing like a lot of makeup or anything. Um, this is a lot. This is a
Um,
lot. Mhm.
Now, kind of wrapping things up
Yes.
here, I want to say this, but then I'll also do a community post.
Mhm.
Okay, so tomorrow it starts at 2 o'clock, the streaming. I'm not going to be streaming in the afternoon because I got appointments and stuff. So I was going to stream in the morning. However, and this is what I'm curious for the chat to say. So I'm putting this out there, but then on this channel, the podcast channel, I'll do a community post about this. Tomorrow is day one opening statements of Dima Tower murder trial. This is the adopted Ukraine son who killed his parents when he was 14. And he's obviously a little bit older now, and this is going to trial. The defense, like at the last minute, hey, jury selection starts in 5 minutes. The defense was like, hey, we'll offer you this plea deal right here. He'll plea out for I think 40 years or something like that. And the state was like, nope, absolutely not. We are going for life. And so they're like, well, let's go to trial then. So it starts tomorrow. So my question for everybody is, do y'all want to stream and do a start from fresh this trial, see where it goes, or do you want to continue rewatching parts of this what are we talking about here, the Devyn Michaels trial? And so just be thinking of that, and I'll put it out in the post, and we can vote on it. But either way, I'm just going to be doing a morning session till like noon, and then if it's like, oh my gosh, wow, this is crazy, we can pick back up with it, because this is like, so it is what it is. I'll let y'all decide. Only if we can watch this trial in 3 speed. I know, right? Oh my gosh. At
Because
times
there are parts of it that drag a little. And so I think the digital evidence was important, but they were showing, okay, the lights come on the car. Like they showed like 3 different angles of just like the cars getting there. Does that make sense? Like, but I think they were showing that nobody else was there and that Devier's car isn't there. You hear a woman get back into the car and leave.
Mhm.
Because I think they're thinking after everything that she left, because she wakes up at the other house, I believe. And so it's like
Yeah.
she doesn't stay there. And so, and that you only hear like one door, like you don't hear like 2 doors open and close. And so the state is giving this information for a good reason, but it drags. It really, really drags.
And see, me as like a pretend juror, that's the kind of stuff I might actually go put that on the TV when I go downstairs
Yeah.
and watch the Emmy, the what you're talking about. Because
Yeah.
for a juror, that's where I'm sitting here like, hold on, put all this tawdry drama aside, show me some facts real quick.
Yeah.
I want to see when her car pulled up. I saw the gas station stuff where they're like, look, they're at the gas station. It's just him and her. And then the son slash husband talking about, no, by 2 a.m. she was on my sofa, so it's all the evidence is all there. It's just a matter of being like, this happened at this time and this light came on at this time and then this happened and the mother did this, but it's like complicated. Okay. And again, most of it, I fired this up this morning and within the first 30 minutes I was like, I've got my morning coffee. I didn't know. I mean, obviously it's a murder. I'm expecting something terrible, but this was a whole new level. I was like, "Y'all, we can't be doing all this early in the week."
So I wasn't planning on covering this one, and then I saw Court TV or somebody put out that it was like this love triangle, like stepson, like that it was something like I was like, "What?" And I clicked on it and I was like, "No, she took out." So I don't cross boundaries like that, but best believe I would have avoided all of this because her picture is everywhere. People are finding all the past stuff. She was also a realtor, and people are in the comments like, I danced with her. She's really in her 50s. I don't know if that's true. I don't know any any of this stuff. And uh it's a lot.
Leslie says it's an obtuse triangle, a very, very, very obtuse triangle.
I think it's a circle. Like like you have to do a family tree, but you're supposed to have branches and like it doesn't branch off the way it's supposed to be new people that aren't connected to other people on your tree. And it's a very strange thing.
This is the
I think
wrong turn, part 5, Vegas edition, something.
I I think what makes it worse is that like she had children with the ex. And then you know what I mean? Like that's the part that makes it because that's where I'm like, your brother is also your stepfather, who's like that's the part that makes
Yes.
it weirder,
Yeah,
for now, like,
100%.
but it makes it odd.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like that's the part that and like when I was first watching it where I was like, yeah, Wendy says I was thinking wrong turn. I know, right? I just watched that again. Oh, that's why I said that. I was like, it's giving wrong turn. Vegas edition. When I watched it, I'm like, okay, wait, so she was married to Jonathan, but she had the girl, and then
Oh, no,
yeah,
so she was never married to Jonathan,
yeah.
the father. They just dated for years. He probably didn't wanna get married. I think he was ma I don't know, but yeah, they never got married.
And I would have loved to have known if there was a way to show that, yes, him and the son, and y'all might be like, "Paul, they already did that." That they had a knowing conversation of, "Yes, dad, I am with her. I'm married, this, that, and the other." I mean, can you imagine that conversation, what he would say? He might be like, "Son, there's a reason I didn't marry that thing right there, okay? And this
I
is why."
My understanding of the text message was just like, "That's messed up." And
Mhm.
I think the son said something back like, "It is," I don't know, but, like, it seemed like their relationship was distant at that time, because, um and then to me, I don't know if Devier was fully listening to all the questions, like, I think he just wanted to get off the stand because he would just say yes and no, but I don't know if he was because he would say it came across it came across weird. Some of the things he said yes to, some of the things he said no to, and somebody mentioned he didn't speak up, and they had to keep asking him to, like, speak into the mic, speak up. It was it was painful to watch, but yeah.
Very much so. So what we'll do, we'll see where the wave of trials take us because all of a sudden now there's all these wild trials taking place. Like nothing was really going on, but we haven't followed a lot of these. That's what's wild. Like we haven't really been following like I haven't. These cases, they're just popping up and it's like, wait, what? What's going on with this one? What's going on with this one? But what I was getting ready to say is we'll probably definitely have to revisit this one, like talk about it again after the verdict comes in, just to see. I feel like I'm gonna spoiler alert what the verdict's probably gonna be, right? But you never know.
And I wonder if it'll be similar to another case. I wonder if the jury's gonna get to first degree because the intent, because like I think first degree is kind of a high bar, like you intended.
Mhm.
I don't know if she takes the stand, because if she takes the stand, I wonder if the state, because all of her history, I think everything can come up if she takes the stand. And so that's where I could see the jury convicting her of second degree, potentially.
And that's an excellent point because, like, if you look compare what we just went through with the Adelson situation of like this was like if you want to look at a pre-planned, we know what we are doing kind of a thing. At the end of the day, unless and again, y'all might be like, well, Paul, there is this evidence for this. I mean, I haven't seen all of it. No one can really say what happened behind closed doors on the night of the murder, and the only other person that can is obviously he's no longer here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't know. Did they get behind the doors and have an argument in the heat of the moment she killed him? Like it's hard to even say. And from the little bit of it I've seen, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of pre-planning evidence, but again, I haven't seen all of it.
And I think he's a big guy, so that's where I wonder if he was, like, asleep or like, it makes sense that he might
Mhm.
have been, like, asleep or laying down or something, because I think he's, like, 6'4" and, like, 200, like, I think he was a big guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And, so we will see what happens. So I have no answers. People are like, "Why do you think she did it?" This is weird. Like like, I know what the state is thinking. I could also just see an argument that went too far, but to me, she wanted Devier. I don't know that she wanted Jonathan, and she wanted her daughters, because she went to court a few days after this, and I think was like, "Oh, yeah, I've been following everything," but, like, didn't mention, "I'm currently, like, the prime suspect for a murder." Like, she didn't she left that part out.
So,
Um,
oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe I should mention that.
like, hey, like, I should mention that, like, I was the last person to see him alive
I know,
in his
right?
home.
Well, thank you, Dr. Barry, for once again coming and consoling us here on the sofa. And thank you, Psych Nerds, for hanging out with the Sofa Squad once again. This is always so much fun. I was having like withdrawals from Dr. Barry conversations. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been like over a week. But yeah, definitely let's plan this up again when they get the verdict and we'll do all that.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you, moderators. Thank you, Sofa Squad. Thank you, Psych Nerds, for everybody joining. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll put the post up. Whatever we do tomorrow on the podcast channel will be at 9 o'clock. So whether we're rewatching this, we'll let the voting decide which it is. And so that's it. We'll close out with Slow Morrison's Ode to the Sofa Song, and I will see y'all tomorrow.
The pillows are fluffed thanks to Miss Emily. The couch is wide enough, join the family. It's all love while we laugh at Perp's criminalities. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup at hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh, please, the puppies need me. Oh, oh, please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credential stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup and hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. Oh please, the puppies need me. Oh please, my body is rejecting none of that fancy credentialed stuff. I'm just here for the cringe binge. Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, 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 come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.